want to share with you why it's so crucial to discover what your talents are and to develop them, and why it's so crucial to discover what the talents of all of those around you are and help them develop them as well. Your family members, your friends, your colleagues, your employees. I was able to work with an organization several years ago, and they asked me to open a new office. And I said under one condition, and that condition is that I get to choose the people that work with me every day. And they agreed, and so I was very fortunate to meet a lot of wonderful people. And the applications started coming in, and the resumes started coming in. And while I didn't typically look at the stuff on the resume, right? I needed to meet the person. Remember, for me, and for you, it should be about who you are, not necessarily what you do, but who you are and what strengths you have and what an asset you would be to our team. And during this process, I received a phone call from another manager, and she proceeded to tell me that the employee that worked for her had submitted an application to come to work at our office. And then she proceeded to tell me what a terrible employee this person was, that they didn't dress professionally, their clothes were too tight, that they were never on time, they were constantly being written up for not being on time, that they were just a chatty Cathy and never stopped talking. And I abruptly ended the conversation and said that I would like the opportunity to meet the person, get to know them, and see if I can find value that would allow them to be a great asset to our team. So I brought this person in, and the first thing she said to me is, "Hi, my name's Stephanie, and I'm pregnant." And this was during a group interview, so we all got a nice little chuckle out of that. And what I learned about Stephanie is that the reason her clothes were too tight was because she was pregnant. And the income that she was earning at the other office didn't allow her such a luxury, and to her it was luxury, to buy maternity clothes, to buy clothes that fit her. So the reason her clothes were so tight wasn't because she didn't want to dress professionally. It was because she didn't have the luxury of buying clothes that were large enough for her at that particular time. She also shared with me that because she was pregnant, she didn't sleep very well, and she got her best hours of sleep from about 5 a.m. until 7 a.m. I can't even imagine 2 hours of sleep a night. And she said, I'm always late because that's when I sleep, and I'm always on the early schedule, and it's a challenge for me to get here on time because that's when I'm getting my best sleep. And she said, and I love to talk to people. I love to connect with people. I love to relate to them. I love to share stories with them. I love to serve them. So immediately, what I began to do is find the gold in Stephanie. And I can tell you, if you think about somebody who digs for gold, they don't go looking for dirt, right? They go looking for the gold. They expect that they'll see some dirt along the way, but they don't go looking for the dirt. And I can promise you that if you look for the dirt in people, you're going to find dirt. Just like this previous manager said, she's always late, dirt. She's a chatty Cathy, dirt. She's never on time, dirt. And what I found in getting to know who Stephanie was that her chatty Cathy was just her ability to connect with people. People would drive past 4 or 5 offices to have Stephanie serve them and wait on them and care for them and connect with them and relate to them and listen to them. That was a God-given gift that we don't all have. And then I asked Stephanie if it would be okay with her if we had her work the late shift, which means she didn't have to be until 9. She could sleep till 7, had plenty of time to get ready. And guess what? She drove an hour over the mountain from the backwoods of West Virginia to come to our office every day. So it gave her time to make that drive every day. And I will never forget, she looked at me and said, "You would do that for me?" Of course I would do that for you. That's why I'm here. These are my gifts. One of my natural abilities is significance, meaning and purpose. I love meaning and purpose. If I can allow you to get rest as a mother-to-be and still be able to come in and perform and excel in a way that only you can, of course I'm going to do that for you.
The other thing that we did is we put Stephanie on a plan to give her the opportunity to make more money. It wasn't about keeping her in this place where she was on a constant improvement plan. It was about how can we use her natural gifts and talents to give you the ability to work in an area in this organization that gives you the revenue that you need to be able to buy new clothes. It's simple, folks. So often we focus on those negative areas that we think people need to change about them. And if you're going to focus on the negative areas, the dirt, that's what you're going to see. That's what this other manager saw. And I can tell you, as a result of working with Stephanie, seeing those natural abilities and talents, those gifts that she had, to watch her discover them and develop them every day, first of all, it was an honor and a privilege for me to be able to be part of that journey with her. And secondly, Stephanie shined. She grew as a person. She grew professionally. Our customers loved her. Like I said, they would drive hours to see her and drive right by other offices that could give them essentially the same product, but it wasn't with Stephanie, the connector, the relator, the person that listened to them and inspired them. She wasn't just a teller, right? She was a person with gifts and talents. Stephanie ultimately became our top salesperson in the company. We never talked about sales. We never talked about the what. We talked about who she was and how to deliver that, and deliver that to the people that came into her world. And as a result, she was the top salesperson. She came in early. She stayed late. She offered to rearrange her schedule for other people because that's what we had done for her. We looked for the gold. We developed the gold. And she shines brighter than any gold any other person would have seen in her had they not just taken the opportunity to see who she was, what her natural abilities are, and her gifts, and develop them and give her the opportunity to deliver them to the world. I want to share with you another way that you can discover what your natural gifts are. I'm going to talk about my sister again. I share with her so often that her talents and gifts are so incredible and so obvious, right? She's a mother to 7 children, 2 grandchildren. She takes care of them, nurtures them, raises them, develops them. And so often we say to ourselves, yeah, but that's easy. Anybody could be that. Anybody could do that, right? Anybody could raise 7 children and 2 grandchildren. That's really what she says to me. Anybody could do that. Not anybody could do that. That's your gift. That's your talent. And that's another way you can discover who you are and what comes naturally to you. If it doesn't feel like work, if you think to yourself, yeah, but it's just fixing computers. Anybody could do that. No, you have a strategic ability. You have a gift, a talent. Not anybody can do it. I work with lots of business owners, and I can tell you the greatest challenge in business, or really in life, is mindset, right? So if you don't find yourself valuable and see those things as natural abilities and gifts and talents, then who else will, right? So it's up to you to discover what are those things that you have to offer to the world. If you're someone who naturally connects with people, look at that as a gift. It's not something that comes natural to everyone, right? Because you say, well, that's easy. People look at me and say, wow, you're a coach and you're a speaker and I could never do that. Good, because if everybody were a coach and a speaker, who would we have to coach and to speak to, right? I do it because it's my gift and it comes naturally to me. I was able to uncover that. When I think about back through my career, I always said one of my favorite times in my career was when I provided training to some organizations. And it wasn't the training or the material or the product. For me, it was seeing the light bulb go off. It was seeing people come in concerned that they may not be able to learn what they needed to learn. And for me, to give them that ability to show them that not only could they learn, but they could use what they were going to learn in their everyday life, it gave me the opportunity to access my strength, to access that significance, that meaning and that purpose, and share that with people. And, I'm guilty of the same. I used to think, well, it's easy. Who couldn't stand up in front of people and share how amazing they are and share opportunities with them? But the reality is it's not everyone's gift, and that's okay. We have to start focusing on what's right with us, what our gifts are, and not focusing on what we think is wrong with us. Guess what? I'm not a great mechanic. It's just not my gift. I'm not a great learner. There are people that love to read, and I've been in roles where my supervisor, my leader, told me I needed to read a book a day, or even a book a week. It got to the point where they said, can you read 7 pages? And trust me, I read, but I read things that inspire me, that encourage me. For me, reading just for the purpose of reading is daunting, so I procrastinate. It's just not my strength. I'm much better off to listen to a podcast, to listen to a book on tape, and access my strengths and do what I do best. But so often we beat ourselves up and say, oh, I wish I could read a book a day like this person. It's not your strength, it's theirs, and it's okay. Find those things that come naturally to you. If connecting with people comes naturally to you, find a way to access that every single day. If you're a person who needs to be connected and relate to people and inspire people, and you're in a role that doesn't allow you to do that, that keeps you confined to a cubicle or an office, you're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to have that meaning and purpose because you're not delivering those gifts that you have every day. You might not even realize what they are. So think about those things you think, I don't know why other people can't do this. It's easy. The reason they can't is because it's not easy for them. It's easy for you because it's your gift.
What is the formal way to discover your God-given gifts, your strengths? Well, I'll tell you, the number one resource that I've found, and as a clinical psychologist, by the way, over many, many years, I've administered a lot of assessments on personality and intelligence. But the problem, the singular focus with all of those is that they're looking for deficits. They're looking for problems, right? And what we encourage you and everybody else to focus on is what is right with them. And this particular instrument that I've found is not a proprietary instrument that's only available to psychologists or doctors. This is an instrument that you can get online, and there is a fee involved. It's $20, which is minimal. This assessment, as Crystal and I have talked about, really gives you a formal language to understand who you are and what you have to offer. So we'd encourage you to take it, and it's called the Clifton Strengths Finder. Now, we'll take a step back here. We do not gain any royalties or any kickbacks from recommending this instrument. We recommend it simply because we believe in it and it's effective. And we know that you will find it effective for you to understand really who you are, and then give you some ideas about how to develop and leverage who you are. So we're going to include the link here in this video, and we'd love for you to take it. It's going to take you about 20-30 minutes tops to take. And there are, according to the Clifton Strengths Finder, there are 34 talent themes. That's what they call them, as talent themes. So you can use those words interchangeably between gifts and strengths and talents. And it will reveal the top 5 natural God-given strengths or talents that you possess. And so we'd love for you to take that assessment. Again, we've included the link for you, and we want to hear your results. So please email us at Sherri@CrystelLynnSherri.com or Crystel@CrystelLynnSherri.com to share with us your results and what you've discovered about yourself. So the Clifton Strengths Finder, that's the formal way to discover your God-given gifts.
I can remember several years ago, Sherri, my business partner and dear friend, asked me to take an assessment. And my initial reaction was, sure, I'll take another test that tells me something about me that I already know about me. And I really did it just to make her happy. So I took this assessment, and what I can tell you is that out of all the assessments that I've taken, and I've taken a lot, I've taken the DISC, I've taken the Myers-Briggs, I've taken a lot of assessments that made me think, oh, that sounds like me. But this one I opened my eyes to so much more. What I found was that it was like having a flashback. You know how people say, oh, for lack of a better analogy, I saw my life flash before my eyes. And that was really what it was like for me. I said, wow, now everything makes so much sense. What I found was that my top talent, my gift, my strength is significance. My work has to have meaning and purpose. And when I look back at everything I've done in my career over the years, from being a teller, from being a mother who stayed at home and raised children and provided daycare for other families, to commercial lending, the one thing that came very naturally to me, and that didn't seem like it took any effort at all, as a matter of fact, I couldn't wait to do it, was to find significance in people and in their work and the service that I was providing to them. Even when I think about being a lender, yes, I did loans for real estate, for equipment, but what I really found joy in and what came naturally to me was to find a way to significantly impact someone's life. If I could save them $100,000, that might mean that they may be able to create new job opportunities. It might mean that they might be able to send their children to a school that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to. So for me to access that strength was remarkable. One, it was amazing to find out, hey, that's a strength of mine. And like I said before, a lot of times we can beat ourselves up over, right? If there were days that I didn't feel very significant, if I spent days doing filing and paperwork, and yes, it was important, but it didn't access my strengths, right? Another one of my strengths is I'm very futuristic. It's very easy for me to see the big picture. And some people, it's not their gift, right? And that's okay. It's just not your gift, it's mine. I have this natural ability to ask people where they're going to be in 10 years, and what does it look like, and what is the vision of your organization. And a lot of times it can stump people because it's not their gift. They hadn't even thought about it. But for me, it comes very naturally. And when I was in roles through my career that I wasn't able to look big picture or offered that ability or that thought or that suggestion to someone else, and they didn't see the value in it and just wanted me to stick to what we traditionally do, when I wasn't able to access those strengths, no matter what role I was in, right? When I wasn't able to find significance and meaning and purpose in my work, essentially in my everyday life, right? We spend many hours at work. I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel joy. As a matter of fact, I felt the opposite. I felt like I wasn't giving everything I had to give, and I was frustrated. Another one of my strengths is strategic. It's very easy for me to take that big picture and then break it down to small steps, into things that are achievable, that I can accomplish, that show other people that they can accomplish it, and help them feel fulfilled and feel like they have this sense of meaning and purpose, and that they're able to accomplish these things that they had once only been able to imagine. And because it comes naturally to me, I don't feel stressed. I don't feel like it's work. There's never a day now in my work that I do that I feel like I'm going to work or that I don't want to go to work, right? When something comes naturally to you, when you think about that, if it comes naturally to you, you're not frustrated. On the other hand, if we're in the wrong roles, or if our job requires us to do things that don't come naturally, what do? We procrastinate. We get frustrated. We probably take that energy home, right? We come home frustrated with the day. Now we bring that to our families. This is why it's so crucial to find out who you are. The what will come. I found my what through speaking and writing, but it's not who I am. Who I am is somebody who enjoys meaningful and purposeful work. Who I am is somebody who's strategic, futuristic. That's who I am. And the fact that I've been able to discover that, so many people will never have the opportunity. We get so focused on the what. From a young age, we ask our kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? We completely look over who they are and what comes naturally to them. We put them in these standardized testing, in this standardized box, that we should all be the same. We should all be well-rounded. We should get a degree, find a job based on our degree, our what, our skill set, right? And completely overlook what comes naturally to us, what our natural God-given talents are.